You're listening to the Quint podcast.
VK Sasikala's sudden decision to step away from politics on 3rd March, which rattled both the ruling AIADMK and the other political parties in Tamil Nadu, seems to have no visible impact as such on her nephew, TTV Dhinakaran, the leader for the AMMK, who on 8th March announced a new ally in its fold, Asaduddin Owaisi's AIMIM. Speaking to reporters on Monday, Mr. Dhinakaran stated that nothing could stop him and is hoping to cause a dent in the AIADMK vote bank with the new AIMIM alliance. While the ruling AIADMK has allied with the BJP and the PMK, and there seems to be no visible signs of a tussle in that partnership, the same cannot be said for the DMK and its strongest ally, the Indian National Congress. Tough negotiations between the DMK and the Congress party have been consistent since the seat-sharing talks began in late February 2021, with the DMK not budging away from the goal to contest in 180 out of 234 seats in the assembly polls and providing their allies with a minority vote count. According to media reports, the talk even escalated to the extent of the Tamil Nadu Congress chief K.S. Alagiri breaking down during a meeting of the party's state executive committee, giving the reason that the DMK is not respecting the Congress party and its position in the state. So in today's episode, we will focus on the two alliances, which is the AMMK and the AIMIM, and the DMK-Congress and their internal dynamics, what is their campaign strategy, and what does the road ahead look like for the state assembly polls. To discuss all this, for today's episode, I spoke to senior journalist and political analyst Sumant Raman and also Nicola Henry, South Bureau Chief for the Quint. You're tuned in to The Big Story, the podcast where we dissect the headline-making news for you, and I'm your host, Himmat. So let's start with the DMK-Congress alliance first. The DMK started its election campaign at the end of February on a very cheerful note with their alliance with the Congress, the other communist parties, the VCK and the Indian Union Muslim League. And they all spoke in one voice and it all seemed like smooth sailing. But the DMK party has been very stoic about one particular thing, which is the number of seats that they will be contesting in the elections on its own, which is a whopping 180 out of 234. They have left the rest of the seats to its allies, which include the Congress party. With seat-sharing talks with the Congress concluding on 7th March, with the Congress party confirming that they will be contesting in only 25 seats, a large slide from the 40 seats they contested in 2016, I asked Nicola Henry, who is the South Bureau Chief for the Quint, on what is triggering DMK's campaign strategy of leaving nothing to chance.
So the DMK is looking at this election as a do-or-die situation where they want to come back to power after a hiatus of 11 years. And for them, because the polls are predicting, especially the sea water polls with different organizations, are predicting that the DMK alliance will come to power. The situation is such that the DMK thinks once it comes to power, what should be done? So their calculation is that they should form a government which is actually very stable so that there won't be any defections. And where they will have the absolute say. So they want to contest in these many seats, that is 180 seats, because they want to win at least 150 to 160 seats. Okay. So in the initial talks, they were insisting on 150 seats instead of 180, and they wanted to win at least 130 seats. So now that the tally has gone up and they have given lesser number of seats for the rest of their alliance partners, it is rather clear that they want to be a party which in the assembly will stand out as a single, largest party with a clear majority, so that it won't be a borderline majority, where defections could affect their governance and their stake at power. So it's keeping in mind this equation of running a stable government that they have conducted the seat sharing talks, and that's why they have insisted that their allies should go for the minimum number of seats because the DMK thinks that that it is the strongest party in the alliance, and that it should the alliance talks, that is the seat sharing talks, should be conducted on the terms of the strongest party. So it is this equation that is actually played out during the seat sharing talks, and
Yeah.
this was the reason why AIADMK went for a huge number of seats for itself.
Now, the DMK-Congress alliance is not new. The two parties put up a very strong anti-BJP front in the 2016 assembly elections and ran an effective campaign. However, the Congress managed to win only 8 out of the 40 seats it contested in, and the DMK also won just 89 seats. The AIADMK, which went on to form the government for a second term in the state, had won 134 seats. The recent visits to Tamil Nadu by Congress chief Rahul Gandhi were also not greeted with a cheer from the DMK front. According to sources to the Quint, not a single DMK leader even attended the rallies held by Mr. Gandhi, which does bring up the question, why would a party sideline strongest ally in such a way? Is it just based on past performance, or is there some kind of internal politics or discussion in the DMK which is driving this kind of campaign strategy? Nicola weighs in.
The DMK thinks that the Congress does not have a clear hold over its legislators. So, if at all the Congress were to be given a higher number of seats, the DMK fears that these legislators who get elected to power, if at all they were to get elected to power, they could defect and they could join the other camp, thereby weakening the government's chance of a good performance in the assembly. So that is one reason. And the second reason is that DMK thinks that the terms of the alliance should be based on the terms of the strongest party.
The strongest party, yeah.
Which DMK thinks it is. So, and because it wanted to contest in so many seats for its own sake, it felt that the concerns of the alliance partners should not matter so much. And that was the attitude with it had entered into a discussion with the alliance partners, and that affected the morale of Congress leadership. And it was very clear from my conversations with some of the state leaders and also some national leaders that they felt very insulted and humiliated during the seat sharing talks. So this is because in 2019 Lok Sabha elections, the Congress and the DMK had put up a very strong anti-BJP front, and they did the alliance work, perfectly without any glitches in between, without any sort of difficulty in convincing someone or they were all on the same page. So in 2019, the majority of DMK and Congress leaders, and also their other alliance partners like VCK and IUML and the Communist parties won because of this consolidated sentiment against the BJP's involvement with AIADMK. So in that circumstance, if the alliance had worked smoothly, the Congress leadership right now thinks why such an arrangement should not have been replicated during the assembly elections also. So they felt extremely betrayed by the DMK's tough dealing during the seat sharing talks. And they felt that the circumstances have not changed as far as the alliance is concerned, because they are still facing the AIADMK and the BJP on the other side. So so really nothing should have changed in terms of the seat sharing talks. And the Congress had this dilemma that it did not want to cut a sorry figure in front of the BJP because the BJP is the national party here in Tamil Nadu elections, right? So, and the Congress is the other national party. So the BJP's talks with the AIADMK were going very well, and there were hardly any disruptions over there, whereas after round of seat sharing talks with the DMK, the Congress leadership was not getting some sort of a positive answer. The positive answer being they wanted more than 18 seats, and they wanted a good figure of seats so that they will be able to keep the morale of their cadre up in the state.
Yeah.
So which the DMK was not agreeing to at first. Later on they did, after the intervention of the national leadership of the Congress, I'm told. I think that what I gathered is that the national leadership did speak to
Mr.
DMK
MK Stalin
President
as well.
MK Stalin. And that's how the alliance came to be. And now it seems to be a smoother ride, though there was an initial feeling of betrayal, of humiliation, and all that, which was there. Now they are a united front is what the DMK alliance, including the Congress, is claiming. And it seems to be the case for the time being, yeah.
The DMK is seemingly running a very tight ship and have stated that it has a strong grip on its campaign, especially when it comes to the confidence in their MLA candidates. A source close to the DMK told the Quint that, and I quote, "The party is sure none of its leaders will defect to the BJP. If one is a DMK leader, one cannot survive in politics if one supports the BJP. However, the BJP has proved how persuasive they can be when it comes to elections and getting young leaders to defect, with recent examples coming from West Bengal where TMM MLAs who held tickets defected to the ruling party. But is the DMK party as strong as it seems? Nikhila thinks that since the DMK campaign is centered around an anti-BJP sentiment, if any leader does defect, that political leader will not have a political existence later on.
See, DMK has this confidence that there is a strong anti-incumbency wave in the state, and there is also a strong anti-BJP wave in the state. So they do feel that they will be able to win. That's first thing. And coming to the aspect of defections or, worrying whether their leaders will be persuaded by the BJP, there is what the leaders of DMK have told me so far is that during the past election, the last election, which was the 2019 Lok Sabha election, they had projected this image that, they were absolutely against the BJP ideologically. So they put up an ideological front is what I was told. So the problem with an ideological front is that, if you move away from that, you will be considered as a leader who is not worthwhile in your electorate. So that will reduce your chances of coming back to power later on. Unlike in other states where, for example, in Karnataka, where the MLAs resigned and contested the bypolls and won. The DMK thinks that in a state like Tamil Nadu, that won't be possible. So, because they have built this entire argument, this entire campaign on a strong anti-BJP ideological sentiment, which is also based on Dravidian roots, they feel that if any of the leaders defect from their camp, that leader will not have a political existence later on, which will prevent them from doing it in the first place. So that's the kind of confidence which they have about their rungs. And going by all the things which the leadership, the DMK leadership has done so far. Like only 2 days ago, they released this vision document for the DMK, and they have done all these. Their campaign strategy is in such a way that it seems rather grand, and it seems like they are. Doing a face-off with the BJP in the state election, and the entire campaign is based on that. So they feel that they will not be that they do not have anybody who will defect the way defections happen in other states.
Moving to the other big news coming out of the poll-bound state, the new alliance between the AIMIM and the AMMK. This alliance has caused some hiccups since it shows that the AIMIM is staunch in discrediting its tag of being the BJP's B team or being a vote splitter. But how influential can this alliance between the two parties be, given that the AIMIM agreed to contest in only 3 seats? According to Mr. Sumant Raman, a senior journalist and a political analyst, he believes that the alliance is not surprising and there may be a deal between the AIMIM and the DMK behind the scenes.
So essentially there are already two Muslim parties. In the IUML has been given 3 seats, the MMK has been given 2 seats. And these two parties were dead against adding Mr. Owaisi to the alliance. So the DMK, I think a couple of weeks ago, sort of communicated to Owaisi that, look, this was the problem that they were facing. And therefore, Owaisi's party then came out, his state president, Wakil Ahmed, said, we are going to contest 20 seats and we are looking for joining an alliance. So there was various speculation. Would they join, AMMK? Would they join Kamal Hassan? Because they can't join the AIADMK because that's an alliance with the BJP.
Of course, yes.
So therefore, what happened? They announced that they would contest in 20 seats. Now, this announcement, which came 3 days ago, saying they formed an alliance with the AMMK, that is not surprising. What is surprising is that they have taken 3 seats. 3
Which
seats
is significantly less than the 30 seats that they were planning, right?
Which is really the question. Now, why would a party which has announced 2 weeks ago that you're contesting 20 seats, settle for 3 seats? Because AMMK itself does not have a base to contest in all the seats. The speculation now is that Owaisi has probably done a deal with the DMK not to split their vote. Had he got 3 seats as part of a DMK alliance or then it's perfectly understandable, because in such a large alliance, you could only expect 1 or 2 seats there. But getting 3 seats from AMMK, there seems to be the feeling that they might have probably done a deal saying that maybe, you stay away this time, we'll take care of you next time. Something might have happened behind the scenes, because it makes no sense at all. It makes zero sense for Mr. Owaisi's party to contest, just such a few
3 seats. Yes.
Yeah, just 3 seats. Yeah,
So there is something going behind the curtains as well, according to you.
Most certainly. Most certainly there is something going, which has meant that they have decided not to split the vote. And at the same time, they don't want to be seen as abandoning the state altogether. So they are just putting up a token fight in 3 constituencies.
Okay.
So clearly there has been some kind of a backroom deal.
AIMIM's entry into Tamil Nadu also raises the question on how influential the Muslim voter actually is in the state. The Muslim voter base form about 5.86% of the Tamil Nadu population, according to the 2011 census. According to Mr. Raman, even though the percentage of the voter base is small, the unique selling factor of the Muslim voter base is the turnout in the elections, which goes all the way to 85%.
The Muslim vote in Tamil Nadu is around 7.5%. But the important thing is they vote. The vote percentage, or the percentage of them who cast their votes, is very high. Right? So they may be only 7%, but if the voter turnout, say 75%, then the Muslim voter turnout would be 85%, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So the percentage of Muslims who vote is much higher than percentage of some of the other communities, and this is something that the Muslim parties themselves use as a bargaining chip. They go and tell the DMK or whoever they want an alliance with, look, we will assure you that 85% of our voters cast their ballots and so on. Now, traditionally, this vote used to be split between the DMK and the AIADMK, even though the DMK always got the larger share. See, in Tamil Nadu, traditionally the minority vote goes to the DMK. The Christian vote goes almost completely to the DMK, and that has been the case even during the time of Jayalalitha. But the Muslim vote used to be more unevenly split. I would say 65% would go to the DMK and 35% would go to the AIADMK, particularly Muslim women. When Jayalalitha was there, I used to tour the state, and when I used to tour, they used to tell me that, our menfolk may tell us something, but we will vote only for Amma. So the man in the house will vote for DMK, and he thinks that his wife or his daughter has voted for DMK, but they would have actually voted for Jayalalitha.
the vote split actually goes all the way down to between spouses as well in Tamil Nadu, which is quite...
Oh yes, it used to happen. It used to happen with the Muslim community when Jayalalitha was alive.
Okay.
So, I have seen Muslim women openly telling, that, our menfolk will say something, but, we will vote for Amma.
However, according to Mr. Raman, the alliance may not matter to the AIADMK BJP front. In the past elections, the minority votes, which included the Muslim voter base, went to the AIADMK when former Chief Minister Jayalalitha contested in elections. According to Mr. Raman, AIADMK's alliance with the BJP will affect the Muslim votes, and that 99% of the Muslim vote will go to the DMK party.
Now, the situation is completely different because of the alliance with the BJP. I would expect that 99% of the Muslim vote will come to the DMK.
99% of the vote?
Yeah, almost the entire Muslim vote will come to the DMK as the entire Christian vote. So, see, that is where DMK has the edge. They are starting off at 15%. If you look at the minority vote in Tamil Nadu, between Christians and Muslims together, you get about 15% vote share.
Okay.
So now the DMK is starting at plus 15. The AIADMK is starting at 0, like everybody else. So this 15% is, in the ultimate analysis, what could give the DMK the edge in this election. The vote of the minorities, consolidated against the BJP, and therefore the AIADMK.
What is also different about this particular state election is that this may be the first time when there is no Jayalalitha or Sasikala factor present, which also raises the question of the chances of the third front, the smaller parties in the election. A Times Now C voter opinion poll stated that 7.4% of respondents chose Kamal Hassan as a favoured chief ministerial candidate. Kamal Hassan's M&M is expected to clock around 7.1% of the vote share with about 5 seats. However, Mr. Raman believes that though Mr. Hassan appeals to the youth and those on the fence, the chances of him winning the seats are low.
Kamal Hassan appeals to the youth. A lot of people who are youngsters are saying we are tired of these two parties, going back and forth. Let's give somebody else a chance. So, and Kamal Hassan has taken on board a few IAS officers who quit service and so on. So, and he has a clean image, because he's never been in power and so on. So a lot of youngsters in particular, and those who dislike the AIADMK and the DMK, they are gravitating towards Kamal Hassan. I won't be surprised at all if he takes, I don't think he will take 7%. He may take 7% or even more in urban areas. But in rural areas, I would expect him to take around 3.5%, maybe 4%, not more than that. Overall, it may come to about 5.5% or so, which is still very good, for somebody who's just 3 years or 3.5 years old in politics. And if he gets 5.5%, he will be the third or fourth largest party in the state. But the point is, I can't see him win too many seats. If he himself, depending on where he is contesting, it is possible, though an outside chance, that he may win. But other than that, I really can't see the M&M making a big impact.
The Tamil Nadu elections have been in a constant flux, especially in the last week, and we will only know more about where the alliances stand by 12th March when the nominations open. To catch all the coverage regarding the Tamil Nadu state elections and all other poll-bound states, head over to the Quint's website. You can also catch all the coverage by following our social media handles. If you liked listening to this episode, please subscribe to The Big Story for episodic updates. We're available on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, JioSaavn, and most of the other popular podcast streaming platforms. For other podcasts, please log on to the Quint website, and for any feedback, please shoot an email to podcast@thequint.com.
Thanks for listening. Log on to the Quint's website and check out our other podcasts.